Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to update you on my latest blood test results, on the newest change in my attitude towards healing, and also a few new things that I've been trying out. So I think it's going to be quite an interesting video if you're trying to heal your thyroid or Hashimoto yourself. So let's get started. So a few months ago I made this video where I said that I was around 95% healed. And at that time I felt amazing, but I was also doing the miracle morning at that time, and so I wasn't sleeping enough. I was waking super early, I was really working too much, I wasn't playing enough, and basically I depleted my adrenals, I believe. I just really did too much, and then I caught a cold at the beginning of December, and that really set me back for a while because my body was just trying to make me understand that I need a bit of more rest. So that's what I did. I took a couple of months, really easy, just taking time for myself, reading a lot, thinking a lot, and then I started feeling really, really well, and that's how I'm still feeling to this day. So I had a lot of signs telling me that I was feeling so much better. So things like my skin completely cleared up for the first time since maybe the age of 14 or 16. I've had absolutely no acne. I mean, I haven't had acne for a few years already, but I haven't had any kind of whiteheads or spots at all for a bit over a month, which is unbelievable. I'm so happy about it. Also, my hair loss has completely stopped now, and my hair is getting thicker and thicker, and that is so nice. Also, my teeth and my gums have been very happy and very healthy. I've been sleeping really well, falling asleep super easily and sleeping really deeply, and my mood has been pretty good, my energy levels have been pretty good. So all the things have been really looking up. But then there were a couple of other things that were making me really confused, because they were basically showing me that something still wasn't right. So my periods got even more wonky in the last 3 cycles or so. They got really painful, and it's weird because I never really got serious period cramps before, but the 3 last periods were just agony, and they got even more, like even dragging for even longer, and also spotting before, and also hay fever. I've always had hay fever on and off for most of my life, but in the last few months it's just been driving me absolutely crazy. But I think I've discovered why, so that's really what I'm going to be talking about in this video. So healing myself is really like peeling an onion. It's so true. It's like you peel one layer of the onion, you find another layer, you peel that layer, you find another one, and it's never ending until hopefully finally you peel everything off and you find the truth. It's going to take a while, and I can definitely notice that those layers are getting smaller and smaller, so it's easier and easier to peel them off. And yeah, it's definitely looking up. Everything's looking up, and even when I have bad days, they are so much better than any bad days I used to have in the past. So in terms of supplements and herbs, lately I've been taking and by lately I mean in the last few months, I've been taking only copper, food-based vitamin C, and kelp for extra iodine, and one new supplement that I added just around a month ago is raw thyroid. It's a supplement I found on iHerb, and it's like an over-the-counter version of the natural desiccated thyroid, which is so awesome because in order to get the desiccated thyroid you need a prescription, but this one is totally, anybody can get it from iHerb or from any other health stores. The only thing is that they officially can't really mention that their supplement contains any kind of T3 or T4 thyroid hormones, and they can't really mention the quantities either, so you don't really know what you're getting, which is a bit of a bummer. But it's definitely a great supplement for somebody with a mild hypothyroidism or a clinical hypothyroidism, subclinical hypothyroidism like me. So I've been trying that out as well, and the thing is, now I know that once you start taking a similar thyroid supplement or a desiccated thyroid supplement, you shouldn't really do a blood test for at least a couple of months, because while you are building up your dose and looking for the right dose for yourself, if basically your dose is lower than what your body needs, your thyroid will feel even worse. So basically you're going to feel even more hypothyroid than before you started the supplement. That's totally normal. That's how the body works. But I didn't know about that, so I went to do the blood test and I got the results, and I totally freaked out, and I didn't know what to think, because on the one hand I was feeling so much better, but then on the other hand my blood tests were showing something completely different. But then I started researching and looking for more information, and I'm so grateful that there is internet and I can find all of these answers. But basically it's nothing to worry about. It's just what happens while you're building up your thyroid support dose, and it's completely normal. Once you find the right dose, all the numbers become so much better. And then also another thing is that when you start taking iodine or kelp for extra iodine, and I've been taking it for around a couple of months now, for the first few months, for 6 months or so, your TSH actually goes higher. So a lot of people don't know about that, and a lot of doctors don't know about that either. And they take the blood test and they find that the TSH has increased a lot, and they freak out and they stop taking iodine, and then they think that they became even more hypothyroid than before. But the truth is that it's just the way the body adjusts to a higher amount of iodine. It doesn't mean that your thyroid is slowing down or shutting off or anything like that. So that's why I really just wasted my money doing all these blood tests, because they weren't really showing the real story. I should have just waited for 2 or 3 months and then done the blood test. Also, another thing is that when you start taking any kind of raw thyroid or desiccated thyroid supplements, if your adrenals are weak, so if for example you are going through adrenal fatigue, if your cortisol is low, then your adrenals will not be able to cope with that extra function of the thyroid, and you'll probably feel even more tired and even worse than before. And you might not have any kind of results from the raw thyroid supplement, or you might be having really weird reactions like anxiety, palpitations and things like that. It doesn't mean that raw thyroid doesn't work for you. It simply means that your adrenals need some support. And lately I've read quite a few books, some more books about hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, and basically a lot of people, probably most people with thyroid problems also have adrenal problems, and that's because when the thyroid gets out of order, there's a lot of pressure put on the adrenals, and they usually get out of order as well if the thyroid is not treated for a long time, which is exactly what happened to me. And it's really not clear which is the first, whether the thyroid gets out of order first or the adrenals. It's like the chicken and the egg argument, who knows. But the fact is that they almost always go together, so it's important to treat both of them. So I have decided that of course it's important to focus on my adrenals as well, simply because I've always had very weak adrenals. So does my mom, so does every woman on my mom's side. So we all have to be very careful and limit stress and find ways to release that stress, and maybe take some extra herbs and supplements to support our adrenals. So that's going to be my focus from now on, in addition to supporting my thyroid. In the last couple of days I've been trying out something new, and that's licorice tea, because licorice is actually really good at increasing your cortisol levels. So if you watched my first original video in the series about my original plan for healing my thyroid, at that time I thought that my cortisol was too high, and I tried a few herbs to try and bring it down, but I didn't really see any results. And I understand that it's because my cortisol, I think, is actually too low, and that explains my hay fever, because when the cortisol is too low, it is unable to break down the histamine circulating in the body, because basically cortisol is what breaks down the histamine and is what reduces inflammation. So if there's not enough cortisol, then inflammation goes wild, and also there's way too much histamine circulating around the body, and then you get asthma and allergies and hay fever and things like that. And that's exactly what happened to me. And so when I started supporting my thyroid and taking raw thyroid supplement, my hay fever got worse than ever, and I totally couldn't understand why, because my skin was getting so much softer, and there were so many different signs in my body that my thyroid was really doing so well, yet I was having these crazy hay fever symptoms, and that's all because of low cortisol. So biggest lesson of this video is, if you have a low thyroid issue, definitely look into your adrenal health, because both of these need to be treated at the same time. Another thing that I discovered is that when you start taking raw thyroid or desiccated thyroid supplements, if you have Hashimoto's, your antibodies will actually increase at the beginning for the first few months, and that's totally normal. That's how the immune system works. So it intensifies at the beginning and then it calms down, and in many cases the antibodies even totally disappear with some extra raw thyroid supplements or desiccated thyroid, which I hope is what's going to happen to me. So again, if I had known that, I wouldn't have done the blood test, because what was the point of testing out the antibodies if they were going to be increased anyway? So of course they were slightly higher than they were last time, but nothing major, so I'll just stay put and repeat the test again in 2 or 3 months. So one blood test result that I was super happy about is my levels of ferritin. So in my last one in June, my ferritin was really low, it was 25, and right now it's 56. And the most amazing thing is that I achieved it without actually taking any kind of iron supplement. All I took was copper, because I discovered that low copper basically causes anemia, low iron, low ferritin. It's nothing else but low copper. So I stopped taking my iron supplements. I started increasing my copper in the foods and with the supplements, and miraculously my ferritin increased and my hair loss stopped, and that's probably also because of the ferritin as well as improving thyroid function. So that's really, really awesome. Then I also decided to check my selenium levels, because they're so important for the thyroid health and for FT4 to FT3 conversion, and for decreasing the thyroid antibodies. My selenium levels are great, they're almost at the top of the range, which I think is because I live on a volcanic island, and volcanic soil is naturally very high in selenium, so luckily I don't have to supplement selenium. That's really good to know, so I'm glad that I checked out the levels. Then I also wanted to check the levels of potassium and sodium, the 2 electrolytes, because last time my potassium was almost at the bottom of the range, which really wasn't good, and so I was taking some potassium for a while, but then I stopped 2 or 3 months ago because I just felt like I didn't really need it anymore. So my potassium was higher than last time, it was 3.88, so higher than last time, still not optimal because I would want it to be over 4, but it's good enough for me. I don't have to take supplements for now. And my sodium though was almost at the bottom of the range, which is really not good. It's just another sign of adrenal fatigue, of the basically I don't have enough cortisol and my adrenals are really tired and really stressed out. So I really need to focus on that in the next few months. Then I also decided to check my levels of folate and also B12, and both of them were great, around the middle of the range, which is awesome. And I haven't taken any kind of B12 or folate supplements for a very long time, more than 6 months now, so it's great that my levels are good naturally. I also really wanted to check my levels of ceruloplasmin, which is the kind of thing that helps your body absorb copper. So if your ceruloplasmin levels are right, then probably your copper levels will be good too. So my level is 24, which is actually pretty good, so I'm very pleased with that. And then the last test I did was vitamin D. So it was more or less the same as last time, it was 24, but you know, it's the middle of winter, I haven't really had any kind of sun on my skin for a long time, apart from today, by the way, because we're going through a massive heat wave. It's 30 degrees Celsius outside, and that's why I'm dressed up like this, and I'm probably a little bit more tanned because I went for a long walk today. So today I've actually produced quite a bit of vitamin D, but it's the first time in 3 or 4 months, so it's normal that my vitamin D is a bit low. I also haven't taken any kind of magnesium for a couple of months now, I think. So I think what I'm going to do is spend more time in the sun, as the spring is coming now anyway, and take magnesium again from time to time. And I really don't want to take any vitamin D supplement. I know it's a bit of a controversial topic. There are so many different opinions about vitamin D, but my intuition is saying to me that I shouldn't really take any additional vitamin D, and so I won't. And the last topic that I really wanted to talk about very quickly is a change in attitude. You know, for the last 1.5 years of my healing, I've been really focused on healing my thyroid completely, all by myself, totally naturally, and I was actually causing a lot of stress in me. I didn't really realize it, but it was causing a lot of stress, because the thing is, I really want to have kids, but I can't really try to conceive until I fix my thyroid. One, because probably I wouldn't even be able to conceive with thyroid numbers like I have them now. And second, I really wouldn't want to jeopardize my kids' health and the future by having them when I'm not really 100% healthy and ready for the pregnancy. So that's why I've been putting it off. But the thing is, that was putting a lot of pressure on me, because I know the time is ticking and I don't have so many years to actually get pregnant, you know, successfully. So I've been really pushing myself to find ways to heal myself naturally, and all this stress was really not good for my health and for my mind, and it was like going against the universe, trying to control everything, which really wasn't a healthy mindset. So what I've decided is that what I'm going to focus on is living well with Hashimoto's and with hypothyroidism, instead of focusing on healing myself no matter what. Of course, I'm still going to try to heal myself and try all the different, you know, remedies and look after myself, but I won't have this crazy pressure on myself to get myself completely naturally super quickly in a year or two so I can get pregnant and have a kid. And when I changed this mindset, I actually realized that it opened up so many different opportunities for me. For example, raw thyroid or desiccated thyroid. Until now, I never really considered it, because I felt like it wasn't completely natural, like I was actually helping my thyroid artificially instead of just fixing it by myself, if that makes sense. So I never even considered it as an option. But with this new mindset, where I'm just focusing on feeling well right now so that I can have kids right now, instead of waiting for years until I get myself completely healthy naturally, that really changed a lot of things for me and took away a lot of stress, made me much more relaxed, and made me much more trusting of the universe, which I think is great. I love this new attitude, and hopefully in a few months' time I can have great thyroid numbers and I can finally start trying to conceive. So, and I also will definitely be focusing on my adrenals, which is definitely my focus number one for the next few months, as well as my thyroid as always, because adrenals and thyroid, like I said, always go together. So this is everything I wanted to update you on. I really hope that you enjoyed listening to my news, and I hope that you got some ideas and inspiration for your own healing journey. And thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video, which, by the way, is going to be that long-awaited copper conspiracy that I've been promising forever. So definitely stay tuned, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.